This video will explain how to assemble this 3D magic wand box, which is an SVG file from Simply Crafty SVGs, available in our Magical Things bundle. So here's the wand box I'm going to show you how to put together, and the reason it's a box is because the bottom will glue on, that's smaller, but this top part snugly fits on. So you could put something like M&Ms in there. That'd be fun for a party for M&Ms or something, or like something small, Jelly Bellies, that kind of thing. So, but they have to be small. I made it big enough to be able to fit something, but small enough to put together, so it'd be easy to put together. So we have these white pieces will be the top and bottom. So the bottom, the shorter one, will be the bottom, and that will just glue on. And the top one, there's two options. So we have the plain one like this, which is like the traditional wand, like that, or you can have a top like this. And this is one that I was playing around to show you. I didn't put it on really that accurately, but to put this topper on, to add it, that's what this like glitter paper, the glitter's coming off. What I did is I have the two pieces to attach it to the top, and then two more pieces that we can pop out to make it a little bit more dimensional. So this one I used a gray cardstock, American Crafts cardstock, and then some glitter cardstock from Cricut as the top ones if you want to give it a little bling. So that's a different way. So that's optional. So if you just want something like that, you wouldn't cut out the stars. But we'll go through the whole thing. Get the glitter everywhere here. So let's go ahead and start with the black piece. So when you have this black piece, if you're using a Cricut scoring wheel or scoring tool, you may have to go over twice. Score, and what I mean by that, there are ways to duplicate and make it deeper. I don't think that the score tools or score wheels really score well enough, so you can also use the dashed score line version for perforation, so it creates perforation so it's easier to fold. I used a kiss cut using a StarCraft solo machine, so that's how I did it. So here we go. We're just going to go fold it. It's easiest off of on a table. So I like to go one by one. So it just helps me to find it, fold it over, find the score, fold it over flat, so we can just continue around like that. This is quite easy to put together. I think the only challenge really will be that star topper. Oops. Be careful with that. If you have to go from the other side, I would do that too, if it gets hard when in the middle. So you want to get it nice and scored like that. And then we have a black piece. Oh, let me get that because I'm just missing that. So this goes on the bottom. So what we want to do is to fold over the tab. So the tab is the one with the angle on it. See that angled piece right there? I'm going to add glue to so I'm using also American Craft texture cardstock. I don't think I mentioned that yet. I'm using art glitter glue. I always have the information on majority of the files. It has the information of what I use. So over time, I've used art glitter glue, barely art glue. I started with Scotch Quick Dry, but my preference today is art glitter glue or barely art. So you want to make sure you don't get glue on the outside of the black pieces that you don't want glue on. So you just could put that flat, fold this piece over. So it's nice with hexagon, octagon, a polygon that has equal sides, is that you should be able to just glue it flat like that. So I'm just applying pressure against that tab, and then gently do that, get the shape. So next we want to, I'm going to fold these in. going to go ahead and just add glue to one of the tabs on the outside of the tabs. We're going to go ahead and anchor that little small hexagon. So I'm going to make sure that I can line this edge up to the fold here. Make sure you get it right in its section. And then we're just going to fold those gently down a little bit. Well, you want them to little raise because we want to be able to catch them. If you prefer, if you didn't want the white piece on the bottom, just be really careful. And this is the bottom of the wand. And be really careful, make sure there's no glue that leaks around the edges. So once you have glue on all those, you just want to fold it. See if I can get the angle right. Get these out of our view. It's kind of hindering the way it's focusing. But we're just getting this, you can see that, just getting it set in place. Once it lines up around the edges, and you can kind of push in the sides a little bit to make sure, just apply pressure. So I'm just rubbing it. So for my plan, I'm going to put a little white thing on the bottom, but if you preferred a different color, like you decide to put the wand in a totally different color, because remember, you don't have to do black and white. You could literally do, let me show you again. You could do a combination, nothing on the bottom, make it purple if you wanted, and did some sort of star like this on the front with purple. I mean, if you wanted different colors to make it more feminine, you could do that too. Or this is, like I said, I just started traditional. So you can make changes like that. So we got that set. Let's go ahead and do the white pieces. So the bottom and the top go together the same. I'm going to go ahead and fold this. So essentially it's just a miniature version of the wand. Really miniature, so both of them. Just fold that flat, fold it over. So I wanted to make this, since this is more party oriented, I wanted to make it easier to put together quickly. They're the same shape, so the hexagons won't get mixed up, so you have 2 hex. So I'm going to go ahead and anchor this one, just like we did on the black. Just line it up. Got a little glue leaking. I'll get that with my finger here. You always have a damp paper towel on the side to get that excess glue off if I need to, and then get off my fingertips. I'm going to let that dry for a moment. And we'll do the other one. So regardless of whether you put the star on, you still have to do, and you want the white piece, this is just the basic white one. If you wanted the, like I said, the star is just to add on the top. So it can go flat. So we'll go ahead and anchor this one, and then once we anchor this, we'll let this sit for a second to dry, and then we'll close the other one up just like we did the wand end. So go ahead and flip those over. So we're just adding glue just like we did before. We want to be careful not to get the glue over too close to the edge because we don't want to see it. The difference is with the wand we couldn't reach in, so we're going to go ahead and fold it over. Kind of squish it around, kind of push in the sides to make sure that these edges line up. And then we can rub that a little bit to get it set, and then just reach in and apply pressure. And you can do that with a tool too, like this is a wooden chopstick. So we're going to do the same for the other one. But it is really easy enough to do it with your fingertip. So if you do like this project or any of our projects, I always ask if you could give me a little thumbs up on the video and or subscribe to our channel if you have not already done so. And if you hit that little notification bell to the right of subscribe, you'll be notified when we have new content. Okay. So we're doing the same. It's not as deep. Want to get it, since this is considered a lid, you want to make sure it's nice and sturdy. The other piece will go under. But these do fit, the lid fits snug on purpose. I mean, you could glue it shut, but I'll show you. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So you don't want to overlap too much. I overlapped a little bit right there, so make sure it's lined up well because it's going to make it more snug. So I know we don't have the bottom part on yet, but when you put these together, if you put something in it, it's meant to easily not fall off. So I'm going to leave that on there while I glue this one on. So the bottom one I glue on, it's shorter. So the shorter, smaller one, we want to put on the edge where... See, I'm just adding glue on the inside here. And on the bottom. But we want to put this on the part that has the closed side. So wherever that bottom part is, we're going to line this up. Put it on. Push it on. And then you could go around, just apply pressure on the side a little bit. Don't like squish it because it's hollow. Do that. And since we're not, had a little glue there, get it off. Since we're the lid, you could glue it on if you just wanted it to be a something without anything in it. They will squish and collapse a little bit. So I guess you could put something in there to. Maybe some strips of foam board or something to help support it if you wanted to just use them as props. But otherwise, it's pretty sturdy with American Crafts textured cardstock. So the last thing we want to do, if you want to use the star, like I said, completely optional. Go ahead and we take these 2 stars that are extra. And you'll see that these have cut perforations for the tabs. So I'm going to fold them actually backwards like that. So this is the textured side. So we want the textured side showing out. So it'd be like that. So what we're going to do is go ahead and add glue on one. So I tried to make this particular file easier to do, which is not for a 3D, so somebody could make multiple ones pretty easily. So we're going to line them up. So just make sure you don't put any glue on the actual tab part, just up to that where it folds, where the perforation is. So line it up. So this is a bit of a challenge. I'm not going to lie, this particular part. I'm going to add these, to put this on, what we're going to do is glue it on like this. You can see, like that on the top, how it just splays out, and then it'll fit right there. I'm going to add I'm going to pop up the, get my big huge roll of, I'm showing it to you, but it's not my favorite foam tape. I just have a ton of it, thinking I may give it away soon. The reason I don't like it is because I like to tear. I like paper backing, and this has a plastic backing. It works fine for what it is. Actually, it made them too big, but we don't need much. Those are big enough pieces to pop it up. So I'm going to use this little, I got this in the US. By the way, I do use a specific scissor to do adhesive cutting. I just have one handy. It's my blue ones are for adhesive, so I can wash those off, but it gets sticky. Doesn't ruin the better scissors. I don't have really great scissors anymore. They all need to be sharpened. So one of the reasons I don't like these, the backing's hard to get off. So I'm going to put that backing aside. So you don't have to pop it up. I just think it gives you dimension. So this is where you could use a different color, just like I did. I showed you earlier. You could use. I would suggest using just regular cardstock for this middle piece with the tabs, and then you could change and put a different color on the outside. But this just gives it a little 3D look without having to build a 3D star. Thought about doing the 3D star, but it would take, it's hard to do this size. I have a file for that. I've done a couple things with 3D stars, and it's just not easy to reach in. So that's not what I intended for this file. So now we have it splayed out like that. You could add glue down here on this particular. It's just easier to add the glue down here. Just get it around the edges. Then make sure you line out the flat areas. Get it lined up best you can. You might have to squish it in a little bit. So you want to make a thick enough. You don't want it to be too much weight up here, because this can fold down. So that's why it's the way it is. So it's not meant to be like a long-term use. So I'll just get that applied on the top. So once that glued on, we have this. So if you wanted to, you could make this top yellow. So you can change the colors. The top and bottom yellow. And then here we go. We have two different versions. We have the traditional look and the one with the little star on the top. So let me get this closed here. So I could have glued a little bit more, but you can see that it kind of gives it a little thickness to it. But that's it. If you like this project, again, give me a little like on the video, and I thank you so much for watching.